the era of monumental conquest, a time when humanity, backed by the raw power of God, actually saw the sun stand still in the sky to finish the battle, finally reached its glorious conclusion. The bloody wars that tested every ounce of courage and resilience have ended, and the season of long-awaited peace has finally arrived. For the people of Israel, they no longer need the sharp edge of a sword, the deadly weight of a spear, or the heavy armor of war. What they need now is a map, a guide to divide the vast, beautiful land of promise. Today, we witness the unwavering faith of Caleb, an 85-year-old veteran who refused to take the easy path, and the final, heart-wrenching choice of Joshua at the age of 110. This is the grand finale of Joshua's history, and it is packed with lessons that resonate deeply even today. Let's embark on this historic journey with open hearts. The great wars against the Northern Coalition have ended in absolute victory for the people of God. The terrifying sound of iron chariots and the screams of fear behind the city walls have finally gone silent. The land of Canaan is now calm and hopeful for the next generation. Israel, who lived as nomads in the harsh wilderness for decades, is finally putting down roots in the land God promised, a land flowing with milk and honey. But the task ahead isn't about military might. It's about justice, faithfulness, and obedience. Through the casting of lots, God divides the territory among the tribes with perfect fairness. Some tribes receive vast, fertile plains for farming. Others get beautiful hills filled with olive trees or lush green pastures perfect for their flocks. As they claim their inheritance, many Israelites weep with joy, kissing the ground and shouting, "This is our home. This is the land God promised our ancestors." It is a moment of true freedom. Yet, amidst this celebration, an old man approaches with incredible dignity. His stride is steady, and his eyes are as sharp as they were decades ago. This is Caleb. At 85, his body might be aging, but his spirit is identical to the man who first scouted Canaan 45 years earlier. "Joshua," he says, with a voice that stirs the soul, "remember the promise the Lord made to us at Kadesh Barnea?" Only Joshua and Caleb survived from the generation that rebelled against God. Caleb makes a startling request: Hebron. Hebron was the toughest stronghold, home to the Anakites, giants who terrified everyone else. While others his age seek retirement and safety, Caleb chooses the biggest challenge to honor God's promise. With incredible faith, he conquers Hebron. Caleb proves to us that age is just a number when you hold on to God's promises with unshakable faith. Caleb's example teaches us that passion for God's will knows no retirement. During this process, God also establishes an extraordinary system of justice: the cities of refuge. 6 cities are set aside as sanctuaries for those who commit accidental manslaughter, preventing endless cycles of blood feuds between kin. God balances perfect justice with profound mercy. Additionally, the tribe of Levi receives no land because God declares himself their inheritance. They are scattered across 48 cities to serve as spiritual guardians, teachers of the law and guides for every tribe. This is God's way of ensuring that every corner of Israel is reminded of his presence. However, the new peace is briefly shaken. The tribes of Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh build a massively magnificent altar by the Jordan River before returning to the east. The tribes in the west panic and grow furious. They're betraying us. They've built a rival altar against God's command. A terrible civil war nearly breaks out. But before swords are drawn and blood is spilled, leaders come to ask the truth. The answer is moving. The altar isn't for sacrifice or idolatry. It is merely a witness to ensure their descendants aren't forgotten by the others. It proves they are one people serving the same God. The misunderstanding ends in tears of joy and restored brotherhood. It reminds us that honest communication can prevent destruction. Time flies. And finally, Joshua reaches the end of his long life. At 110, he gathers all the leaders, elders, and judges of Israel at Shechem for his most precious final message. His voice may tremble with exhaustion, but every word cuts straight to the heart. Remember everything God has done for you. He pleads with deep gratitude. Never compromise with the idols around you. Don't let the world's influence erode your faith, not even a little bit. Remember how God provided for you in the wilderness? Then, Joshua delivers the most famous, challenging ultimatum in the entire Bible. If serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. Whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Hearing this bold challenge, the entire nation answers in one voice. We will serve the Lord, for He is our God. Joshua then sets up a large stone under the oak tree as a silent witness to their solemn vow. Shortly after, the legend of faith closes his eyes in peace and goes home to the Father in heaven. A magnificent era has simply come to an end. The generation that saw with their own eyes the miracle of the sea parting, the Jordan crossing, and the walls of Jericho falling is now gone. But the Bible records one of the saddest sentences in human history. After that whole generation had been gathered to their ancestors, another generation grew up who knew neither the Lord nor what He had done for Israel. A generation that didn't inherit faith, that didn't experience God personally, began to drift away in the rushing current of the world. This is the beginning of Israel's dark age, the period we know as the Book of Judges. War after war, fall after fall, is about to begin because they forgot God. This serves as a stark warning to us, friends. This is a serious and heavy warning for us today. Faith is not an inheritance that transfers automatically. We cannot simply rely on our parents' faith or someone else's spiritual experience. Each generation must choose for themselves before God. Whom will we serve? Will we remain faithful amidst the world's temptations, or will we let faith fade away like the generation that did not know the Lord? Our engagement with God's Word must be personal. We are called to know God not just through someone else's stories, but through a real, daily relationship. Reflect again on the long journey of Israel from slavery to the Promised Land. So many obstacles they faced, yet God's steadfast love remained constant. When they were obedient, God's blessings overflowed. When they turned away, correction came as a loving father's discipline. The great lesson from Joshua's story is that true success isn't about how much wealth we have, but how faithfully we maintain our relationship with God until the very end. Are we building an altar in our hearts every day? Or are we letting modern idols like ambition, comfort, and excessive self-confidence displace God in our lives? Follow the journey of history, filled with tears and God's unchanging love. In the next series, the Book of Judges, the generation that did not know the Lord. This will be a crucial reminder for all of us to guard our legacy of faith. Until we meet in the next story, keep your faith strong and never forget God's love in your life. Thank you for faithfully accompanying this historic journey to the end, and continue to be a light to those around you. May the unwavering faith of Caleb and the bold decision of Joshua be a part of our lives every single day. Never give up in your struggle of faith, because the God who is with Joshua is the same God who is with us today. See you in the next episode, and let us continue to walk with God in every step of our lives.